I don't think there is a single sharp edge on this car anyway. Today we're going to focus on a classic Japanese import car that I don't think I've done on this channel yet. We're going to do that today though. That is the Mitsubishi Eclipse. I think this version came out in 1995, and it is the definition of melted cheese. If this was yellow, all you got to do is just put this car inside of a burger and you really want to take a bite of that delicious thing. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna modernize this and turn it into something that could come out today, because somewhere along the way here something went horribly wrong with the Eclipse name and Mitsubishi in general. I'm surprised Mitsubishi even exists still today, based on their lineup. We don't have a sports Eclipse anymore. The Eclipse today is the Eclipse Cross, and guess what that is? Obviously, it's a SUV or crossover or whatever they call it these days. But I don't like when companies or brands bring back iconic names from cool cars such as the Eclipse here and put it into something that is totally different just to try and make sales. And specifically when the new car is as bland as the Eclipse Cross. It just doesn't make sense. So we're gonna try and fix that today. So here we have the Mitsubishi Eclipse here, and what we're gonna do is, of course, remove. This is such a melted cheese design that needs to be worked on a lot. I don't think there is a single sharp edge on this car anywhere. Maybe this corner right here, that's the only little sharpness that we have in this design. Otherwise, it's as smooth as Scarlett Johansson's face, and we need to add some structure to this design to bring it into 2021 or 2022. And let's have a look at some of the key design components or graphics of the Eclipse that makes it special. To me, first of all, it is the bubbliness of the car itself. It's very round, it's very bubbly, and I kind of want to keep that in the new version here as well, and try to implement that somehow in a more modern way while reducing the melted cheese. And you see this curvature right here. It's a very interesting C-pillar because it goes back up here a little bit and kind of melts into this part right here, so it doesn't really crash hard into this surface. Might want to keep that, might want to make something else out of that, but what we're going to keep is we're not going to make any sort of kink here. We're just going to have the window be an eclipse basically. So we just want to have it be a half a circle like this, and that's a key design feature or graphics of this Eclipse that we want to keep. Other than that, we have the rounded, you see this is typical 90s as well, this typical almost ellipse-like rear window, so that's gonna have to change as well. We're gonna add some definition corners to that. The graphics in the rear, we have this part right here, which I love about the Eclipse. I love the rear end of this car. It looks very cool, and I want to have the same kind of graphics here as well, and try to keep the same shape for the taillights here. I think I'm gonna take some inspiration from the new Lexus ISF, because I really love that the taillights of the ISF, I mean the IS300. It looks really good and really sharp and crisp. Maybe we can take those taillights and modify them and mold them into something that could fit an Eclipse here. And definitely these wheels here, they might have looked good in the mid-90s, but today you can't get away with wheels like this, specifically if you have a sports car. Those needs to be updated as well. And look at this, there's no diffuser here. This is not okay for 2021 either. Everybody has diffusers, some even go all the way up here. We're gonna try and be a little more subtle in that, have it maybe go up to here, something like this. Maybe have dual exhaust, something like that. Very simple, because it's a Mitsubishi Eclipse. It's not supposed to be anything super aggressive or super overstyled. However, it is a Japanese car, so we can have some fun with the styling here. So what I'm gonna do is add some borderline overstyle design onto this. So maybe have two lines that goes like this, so line flow here, maybe something that goes like this. Maybe that will be too much Lexus, who knows. And also add a sharp line right here to have some muscly feel over the rear fender there. And then you see this crease, this very smooth surface right here. This needs to have some sharpness in it as well. Maybe connect it into a shoulder line like that. Who knows? Anyway, let's jump in here and continue in Photoshop. Let's get to work and let's see how this redesign is going to turn out. One thing is for sure, it's going to turn out a lot better than the current Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. The problem that I see with Mitsubishi, if they were to drop something like this, I really don't think it would sell. The reason for that is they've been so out of the game for so long, not just when it comes to not having a sports car available, but also when it comes to relevance. They're not really as relevant as they were 10, 15 years ago when we had the Evos, we had the Eclipse, and we had a lot of more sportiness and more identity in the cars. Today, if you buy a Mitsubishi, you don't really like cars. You just want to have something that takes you from point A to point B, and there is no real passion in the Mitsubishi brand name anymore. Might be wrong, that might just be me, who knows? Comment below if you have the same feeling, or if you think I'm totally out on talking nonsense here. But anyway, what I wanted to do here, as I said, keep the bubbliness. So the main thing how we keep the bubbliness, to me, is just keep the roof line. The roof is like a bubble, and on top of that, we can shape the rest of the car. We can add some sharpness and some cool lines into this car, and we can actually have some fun styling it because it's a Japanese car. So Japanese car culture usually have more styling compared to American cars, North American cars, and European cars as well. Japanese and Korean as well. They always have a lot of fun when it comes to the styling of the car. Just think about Toyota. You have Mazda with the beautiful surfacing in the sidelines with the new Mazda 3, or new. It's not new anymore, but it's a beautiful car, the Mazda 3, and also I like the Miata actually. It looks really cool. And we have Kia going crazy with some really cool concepts. We have Hyundai with the Prophecy concept. Hopefully they come out with that. And also the new Ioniq 5, which is just one of my favorite cars I've ever seen in production. It's such a cool design, and I can't wait to just go and see that car out at a dealer or whatever whenever it comes over here. But Japanese cars in general, my point is, they always have fun in styling. Compare that to, for example, Swedish cars. They're clean, but they're not as fun to look at. They're very graceful and elegant. There is not a single line on a Volvo, or it used to be Volkswagen the same, but not anymore. They're kind of styling their cars crazy now too. But Volvo, if you look at a Volvo, there's not a single line on a Volvo that doesn't necessarily have to be there. Everything has a function, and that's what I like about that style as well. If you move over to the States, where proportion-wise, everything is bigger, larger. Even the sedans sometimes look like they're off-roaders. So that's the car culture in design. You have very different approaches to designs, and that's kind of what I want to keep in mind when I do these redesigns as well. So since it's a Japanese car, we can have a lot of fun restyling this and add some fun curvatures to it and lines. And also adding the Lexus IS taillights. I think it worked really well. I'm going to change it all the way up until the final second of this video, because I thought it was too sharp. It looked too much like Lexus. I wanted to have more of a smooth curvature to those taillights right there, and just smooth out one top corner there. Well, that's about it for this redesign. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of it. If you like this, or do you prefer the original? I mean, the original still looks cool. If you like melted cheese design, which I kind of do, because it suits the original, the 95 Eclipse. That's just how they designed cars at that time. So yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.